good old slothy time today.
It definitely was. It was pretty.
Maybe it saw a shiny squirrel and it had to go check that shiny squirrel out.
Maybe it did. Maybe it did. All right. Well, we're here with the amazing Mel Asher.
And as the amazing Miss Valerie Cobb downplays herself, she's, I might be biased, but I think she walks on water. So
right back at you. We just need to give each other high fives today.
Right. It's one of those days.
It is.
And squirrels and shiny squirrels and objects don't help.
Exactly. I was kind of laughing because it is gray outside, and I'm going, okay, I'm looking at the Mindsetaholics colors changing. I'm going, okay, come on, get that sunshine vibe happening on this show. Well, we have a great topic. Do you want to introduce it, or do you want me to introduce it, or should we play like the Jeopardy theme song?
I think you've kind of already introduced it with, referencing the shiny squirrels. Part of mindset, especially in running businesses, is not getting distracted with shiny squirrels or shiny objects and getting off track. We're all guilty of this. I don't know of any business owner that does not go, ooh, pretty. Ooh, that looks like fun. Ooh, I wonder what that is. At least once a week. So, you chime in and share your thoughts and let's just kind of do our thing.
Yeah, well, in my world, one of the top key challenges that I hear all the time, and that is, our business is not growing. I'm going to try this. Oh, yes. Our business is not growing. I got to try that. The latest, greatest thing. I got to try this. Or here's even a more expensive. I'm just going to go hire a cold caller. And the cold caller somehow is going to fix everything because they're human against AI, right? So they should be able to have that conversation. Or here's the other tee up. We need to go buy this marketing automation system. How many, or the shiny object is, I can get you more leads.
Yeah. I once worked with a client who I was brought in and was going through the audit of all the tools they had and how they were using them. And they had a social media management platform that, I kid you not, they were spending almost $2,000 a month on. I about fell out of my chair. I'm like, what? A, you don't need that. And B, you're not using that.
Yeah.
You're not even logging in, let alone using it for anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, our previous marketing person told us we had to have it. So they could get a commission? Why? I don't know. They just said we had to have it. So we signed up. Like, okay. How about we have a conversation about this?
Yeah.
And so we talked about the difference between just signing up for tools and having an intention and a purpose and having it align with the strategy. Because what I say, they were spending $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year that they were literally throwing down the toilet. Why would you do that? If you're going to spend that kind of money, have a reason for signing up for it. Have a plan for using it. They were in B2B. It was a SaaS company, and the tool they were signed up for was targeting B2C. Yeah. I'm like, you can't use this. It will not help you.
Well, I think human nature has changed to a lot of, I want results now. And I know that because return on investment, and when you're in a small business, you feel like at times that, you would, I've got to have cash flow coming in. It's that whole concept, chaos to cash flow, right?
Mhm.
It's not working. So let's go down this path of testing and trying. And there is a sense of A/B testing out there. But at the end of the day, sometimes they'll say, I don't have that money, but you just quantified, you just said, so you have money to throw away $24,000 a year. So what is the reasoning behind it, and where are your people actually shopping is kind of where it needs to start, because there are times when, yes, that should be the strategy that you go after, because the tool is your B2C, the tool's B2C, it works quite well. I think what irritates me is sometimes, and maybe it's my mood today, sometimes it is um, something that would get them on track that seems expensive is less expensive than the mistake they made for 24,000 a year, because a lot of times you don't factor in on, especially on the financial statements. And I'm giving you a shout out because of your new certification and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you don't um, really kind of look at what the end result is supposed to achieve and account for, just like in manufacturing, you have to account for how much time it takes to deliver that product to realize revenue. A lot of times, because we're instant gratification, it is, here's my instant, it's going to solve this problem. And then we're vastly disappointed with it solving that problem. And it wasn't used in the way it should be used. And the irritating part is, I probably have 30 in my DMs for LinkedIn today of chasing a shiny object. The first thing they do is they say, you know, I want to talk to you about buying my product. And it's like, okay. And if I'm in a mood to test new products or needing or looking, it works. But um, it gets framed as the medicine man, you know,
Mhm.
the elixir that's going to solve all of your problems, and that's really hard. So for big
So
business to solve it.
in scrolling this morning, I had seen a post real quick that said most founders would rather save $50,000 over 50 hours. In the startup and scale up communities, revenue or ROI is not always revenue. It's not always cash.
Right.
Sometimes it's time. And that got me thinking, and it's like, it's true. We tend to think of just based on the balance sheet or the cash flow statement, as opposed to, oh, if I save the time, I can do more. Had a client a couple years ago who their goal was, and we this led into a whole conversation on what is a goal and what is a tactic. Their goal was to post to
Tactic to
Instagram.
get to the goal, right?
And they were defining their goal as to post to Instagram 8 times a day.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Why? First. Second, why? What is that going to accomplish? How is that going to do anything of value to the organization?
Mhm.
And then I started looking at, how they operate. And in order for them to execute a single social media post, it was 4 hours. I kid you not. I'm like, how on earth are you going to get 2 posts out a day if it takes you 4 hours to get 1 post out?
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, 8 times to Instagram is not a goal. Second of all, your complete inability to even have a conversation about accomplishing that is off the charts.
Yeah.
So it became this whole operational conversation of, Okay, first of all, the average social media post has a lifespan of 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you allocate 4 hours to something that on average lives for 2 seconds? And then taking that back to 8 posts in a day on a platform that does not want that many posts in a day?
Yeah.
Squirrels, shiny objects.
It is. There was actually another post that I saw today for LinkedIn algorithms, and it was a great post because, so many will have social media marketers that are working with them, and they'll say, chase this on social media. And it's like, if it's never going to be seen, because LinkedIn's algorithm does not have it be seen, because if it's spammy, it goes into jail. Let's just put it that way. You're in jail, you're spammy to us. So therefore, because we're going to protect they want people on LinkedIn, right? So first and foremost, you might pay to even subscribe to LinkedIn. You might have a free seat. I don't know. But the reality is, it is the community that they care about, not your individual posts. So if you're spammy in that, and you spent so much time on that, there are certain ways that you should structure that. But again, if your audience isn't even shopping on it, it doesn't matter, right? If your audience, when you're saying to somebody, let's say that you're a $200,000 a year consultant, and your audience doesn't buy, let's say you follow a financial sector, and there are strict laws where you can't post certain things on LinkedIn and social media and all sorts of things. I know, because my sister is involved in that, and she can't even put her picture out there, right? So where are your people shopping, and why would you let somebody talk you into selling you that's all it is a sales pitch, right? Selling you on something that doesn't work for you. And I'm not bagging on social media. It's a shiny object that is very noticeable, but we get it all the time. Well, you need to go to this trade event. Okay. Why do you need to go to this trade event? And that, I think, is one of the key mindsets that we don't bring up as much as we should, is to ask the dang question, why? And then it has to align with your goals, and the tactics to get to the goals have to actually meet up to the entire reason, leading indicators to the lag, right? Right. The tactics that you take should not be post on Instagram twice a day if that doesn't move the needle. And where could you put those 4 hours? Because the only thing that anything boils down to is time.
Exactly. So let's make this a little more personal for a moment.
Okay.
There is lots of ways that businesses get sidetracked in shiny objects.
Oh man, I'm guilty of it.
What that?
I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. We have to bounce ideas off of each other for that.
I'm curious, when your brain does that, when you have found yourself being completely distracted by this shiny object or that shiny object, what do you do to refocus yourself so you can actually stop chasing the shiny squirrels and get yourself back on a path?
So for me personally, I know that sometimes people, so I tether everything to the financial statements, and everybody's like, what? Why? Because I know there's this whole thing about, metrics and everything being numbers driven. But to me, I'm an emotional creature that verifies things with data, because I will quite often go down a rabbit hole. So the first thing when I'm digesting how to set up a sales team, or how to make sure that we hire the right marketing efforts and those things to support, to align sales and marketing and all of those things, is to start backwards at the end, which is the goal. So I ask organizations all the time, I say, hey, Mel, where do you want to be in 5 years with this organization? Or what is the goal of this org? Is it an exit? Is it sustainable? Do you want to go in? And are you going to be acquired in a little bit? Are you going to be a good to greater or whatever? And then we look and we start to build. I start to build the numbers. So then for me personally in my own company, I go right back to those numbers because I put myself under that pace. I say, okay, if these are the tactics that I am saying will, the leading indicators that will produce my result, the lag, the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to spend this hour going down this rabbit hole, or exactly what is it do I need to do in this hour to get these things done? So if it is, call 10 people in this hour because I created the sales funnel of effort, right? Here's what I got to do to get the next step to the next step to the next step to produce one sale. Is it going to get me there faster using this shiny object and take less time? Because again, going back to your time can be quantified very easily, right? And I only have personally so many hours in a day. So then I start to do the math against it. Yep. And I revisit it on a weekly basis, dumb it back down. I come back to it and I go, this was the plan that I set. Is it still the plan? And is it still working? And I A/B test it. And then I come back to it. And if I feel like I'm going down that rabbit hole again, I pull up my plan again and go, does this fit the plan? And does the plan need augmented because it fits it better? And if it doesn't even come close to that, I stay the course and go back to my financial statement of what I did for my plan. That's me personally.
So I'm hearing you plan backwards, but you execute forwards.
Yes. And I love how you dumb that down for everybody. That's why the amazing Mel.
I try to do that. And in many ways, I do that. When it comes to me and I get in that path of there's so many shiny objects and I'm just kind of overwhelmed, I find that I end up taking notes to get things out of my brain. And then as I'm putting whatever it is together, there are certain elements that I will get stuck on. And for whatever reason, I can't move forward until I get that one element figured out. And if I don't force myself to take a step back, think about it, walk away, do something different, come back to it, I just end up spiraling. So for me, it's a blend of knowing that I need to and consciously need to step away, then come back, revisit what I've done, and then declutter the piles of sticky notes that acquire on my desk because different parts have come at different times.
I agree with you. I agree. But for me to walk away, I have to have that plan ahead of time. So I have all that stuff, but I still have to have had that plan that says, okay, and then I have to categorize it and I have to say, is this fun for me? Like, am I just going down this rabbit hole because I'm having fun, or is it to my objective? Because sometimes I just want to, sometimes I just want to go down the rabbit hole because it's fun. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go down this because it's fun, but it doesn't lead, if you're saying from chaos to cash flow.
I love that saying, by the way. I don't know if
I know.
I love it. I saw you started using that. I'm like, that's brilliant.
That's mine. I'm starting a newsletter. So with it, but I was just saying, chaos to cash flow. It's unless you're really trying to just donate time and stuff like that, you can't live to fight another day without the cash flow. So you better sift through the shiny object to get to the root of it, because businesses fail at a high failure rate because of it, right? So,
Awesome. So we need to start wrapping up today, but I do want to share with everybody a milestone that Mindsetaholics has accomplished. Below us, we have our URL. So mindsetaholics.podcast.com, and there's an S after holics. We have our site up, and we are launching our episodes on our site, as well as articles that directly go with each episode. So please check it out. You can also subscribe, and we are starting to build that community list so we can give you guys even more insights and even more access to us in different ways. So check out our site.
Awesome. I'm so excited. So like us, love us, and give us more content ideas that you want to hear too.
Yes, post those in the comments below. We do look at those.
Yeah. Perfect. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.